Hello, friends. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to La Femme en Bleu. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for just staying with me on my channel. I appreciate you. So, yesterday, I had a chance to reach out to my son, my oldest son. I think I've talked to you about the adoption process before. He is my adopted son, but I love him dearly and I miss him and I've been calling him, but he had not been picking up his calls for the past, I don't know, couple of months actually. And so finally when he picked up yesterday, I was so excited. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, wow, he picked up the call. So what happened was, unfortunately, in talking with him, uh, he's very bitter, very angry. I even see him right now, he's depressed as well because he's not going to school at all, you guys. He spent 5 days this week at home. So I was like, what are you doing at home? What do you do from day to day, all day long? And so he said he's just doing his thing. You guys, he's only 14, and my ex husband can't seem to motivate him to go to school. What is going on? So I asked them, I said, what happened? What's happening? I mean, does your father not wake you up in the morning? He says, yeah, sometimes he does try to wake me up. And then what? I'm like, if I were at the house, I would be dragging that kid to school. I don't care. Or call 911 to escort me out of my home to the school to make sure he gets to the school and stays in the school. It's like there's no way a 14-year-old can tell me that he knows what's best for him. And I asked him, I said, listen, what do you think is going to happen a year from now, 5 years from now? And of course, he didn't have an answer. I said, listen, I am reaching out because I know I have lived this life. You've only been on this earth for 14 years. There's no way you can know what's best for you. I said, I need you to do yourself a favor and get to school. He kept on saying, is that why you call? Is that the only reason you call? I said, no, that's not the only reason I call. I missed you. I love you. I wanted to call to hear your voice. Anyway, you guys, I don't know. There's got to be a law out there that can force a parent, because my ex-husband decided to file for divorce, get me out of the house, because apparently someone told him that was the best thing to do for the kids. He thought I was a trigger. I don't know what kind of trigger I was, but trigger for him, I guess. But I was taking good care of those kids. And he's definitely doing a lousy job with the kids. And I feel as if, I don't know. At the end of the day, as a parent, you want to love your children. You want to care for them. You want to show them the best of what this world has. But I don't think he's doing that, because from what I understand, and I think I shared this in a previous video, he sleeps at his girlfriend's house. So if you're sleeping at your girlfriend's house, how are you going to motivate him to go to bed early and motivate him to wake up to go to school? He's not even allowed in my son's room. From what I understand, this 14-year-old tells him not to come into his room. Can you imagine that nonsense? I would have gotten a hammer or some kind of a screw, a screw Whatever tool that I would need. Obviously you could tell that I'm not a handy person, but I would have unscrewed every screw on that door, and he would have had a room without a door. That way, you don't tell me that you're going to close the door when I'm not there, or when I am at home. That door needs to remain open because I need to see what the heck you're doing from day in, from day out. I would have removed that door completely and shut him down, period. But I'm not allowing any child of mine, or any child, period, whether it's in public, to disrespect me and get away with it. I will put them in their place, and hopefully there would be a parent around if I'm in a public setting. But in my own home, as long as I'm paying the mortgage or rent, whatever it is, there's no way a child's going to tell me they're not going to school, number one. And number two, there's no way a child is going to tell me not to come into their bedroom. That is not happening. It's just not happening. It's not allowed as a parent. You are in control. You got to step on that pedestal and let them know who rule. Who rules? They need to know who rules in this house. And unfortunately, my son seems to feel that he's the parent, because he's like, I said, well, what do you tell your father when he tries to wake you up and you don't wake up? He says, well, I tell him I'm not going anywhere. I'm not doing anything. I was like, what? And that's acceptable? That's acceptable? From a man? From a boy to a man? No, step up. Be a man. I don't care if this kid is 20 pounds stronger than I am. Listen, you're not going to rule in my house. I am going to let you know who rules in this house. And I was so disappointed after the conversation with him. In fact, he kept on saying, is that all? Is that why you called? Is that all? That's all he kept on saying. He was so cold on the phone. It's a whole new kid. He's a whole new transformation. I didn't even think I was talking to my son, the son that I last talked to back in July. The one that I saw in July, because in July I saw him, we spent quality time together, and even with that, my ex-husband was against it. He didn't feel that I should spend quality time with our son. Can you believe that? And he wonders why this kid is acting the way he's acting now. He's angry, and I could hear it in his voice. He's angry, and yet, I did apologize to him again. Yes, I said, listen, my not being at the house has nothing to do with you. If I could have stayed, I would have stayed. Unfortunately, the environment was wrong, and what you don't understand now, you'll understand later on in life. And that's what I said to him. I offered him to come and stay with me, move in with me. I said, do you want to leave and start fresh in a new school setting? He was like, no, I'm doing my own thing now. What is that? I'm trying to figure out what his own thing is. Sleep all day, get up and spend time with friends. What kind of friends? What friend would allow you to spend time with him when you're not in school all week? I wouldn't even have anything to say as a friend. Like, can we talk about the girl that I saw down the hallway? No, because you weren't there. Can we talk about the homework, it was so hard, or the tests that, Mrs. So-and-so, Mr. So-and-so gave us? No, because you weren't there. So what things in common do they have? So I'm wondering what kind of friends he has. I'm praying to God that he's not doing anything shady out there, because we all know what the outcome will be. So I woke up extra early this morning, and I was just praying. I was praying hard. I was pleading with God to intervene, to comfort him if he's in need of love, to feel loved. Because the only maternal love that he had, that he experienced for the first few years of his life, walked away. And that would be me, unfortunately. Excuse me. I always get choked up when I talk about that because I can feel it for him. I feel him. I feel the emptiness that he feels. And I don't have this magic wand to turn the clock back and marry someone else, someone who would have given him the best of the best or be a father and be a husband to me. I don't have that magic wand. We don't have a script for life. You know, I did the best that I could until I couldn't. You know, but at the end of the day, I did not see divorce as the answer. I did see or seek counseling being part of our lives, part of the process, but there was no application. We went through counseling and counseling and counseling, and I didn't see him trying. I didn't see him doing anything differently. He was just doing himself. My ex-husband is so not proactive with anything. It's like he doesn't have a vision for what life could be. And unfortunately, that has trickled down to the kids. He doesn't have a vision for them. He's not giving them the best of what they need to be the best adult, the best version of themselves later on. It's like this man needs to be accountable, and no one's holding him accountable. It's got to be a way. It's got to be a way, you guys. If you have any positive comments, please feel free to leave them. If you have suggestions on what can be done, excuse me, if you have experience with this, please leave a comment. I'm hoping by the time you watch this and leave a comment that it's not too late. But there's got to be a way to help my son. There's got to be a way. There's got to be a way. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Excuse me. Until we talk again. This is La Femme en Bleu.